It was the highest, 0.9% on month, which is the biggest increase in 3 years, as you're saying there, Paul. So on a headline basis, that's a big number. Under the bonnet, it's been driven by services. You have financial services margins pushing up that figure, probably reflecting the stock market boom. And on the other side, there's retail and wholesale margins. And this is where things get into the weeds pretty quickly. There are some views that perhaps that side of things is reflecting rising cost pressures linked to tariffs. Maybe those tariffs are starting to be passed on. So there's a little bit of something for everyone in this PPI reading. But I think the overall takeaway is that, quite apart from yes on a headline basis, it's much stronger than expected. It also kind of leans into the idea that we don't yet know exactly how this tariff story is going to impact inflation. I've seen some economists say the Fed is correct to be holding onto this wait and see mode when you see a data set like this, because we don't yet have complete clarity. At the very least, we know there are price pressures from tariffs, no doubt about it. Economists are warning more is to come, more is expected over the months ahead. But it's very much, almost at this stage, take it 1 month at a time to try and get a clearer handle on this.
Yeah, and then can you break down that a little bit more? What about the extent to which companies can pass that burden from tariffs onto consumers?
Yeah, well, it's obviously, Lisa, it depends on the product, and it depends on the company margins and the sector. Broadly speaking, there had been, there are two camps on this. There's one camp that says, look, companies can absorb this in their margins. Either they're a seller on the other side of this trade can absorb some of it, and the company can absorb some of it. Margins have fattened, since the pandemic years due to inflation and everything else. There's that camp. And then there's a camp that's saying, no, companies can only absorb this for so long, and then they will have to start passing it along to the end customers. And I think that's probably where we feel like we are in the debate at the moment, that some of this is starting to leak through. It's a question now of how much of it is passed on. And remember this argument that with inventories having been stocked up earlier in the year, as those inventories come down, companies have to restock at higher prices and pass on those costs, pass on those goods at a higher cost to consumers. So the thinking is this tariff inflation will surface in the months ahead. Now, the White House, of course, pushes back strongly on that. They don't see any tariff inflation in these figures. But I think if those sitting in the middle of this debate say it's going to take a few more months yet to get clarity on the extent of how tariffs are affecting overall prices.